Good evening and welcome to the last ever live Vital Football podcast. Wow. This is your podcast from the writers of the Vital Network. You've got myself, Ash, who writes for Newcastle. We have Crippy, who writes for Man City, and Liam, who writes for Everton. How are you doing, boys?
Yeah, not too bad.
Right.
Before the rebranding occurs, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's the last ever Vital Football podcast, but we're not going anywhere. We're just changing the name. Yeah. Nothing's going to change, is it, boys? We're still going to do this.
Still talk shit every week. We love it.
Exactly.
Give us some name suggestions in the chat there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone
I've
has
said
good ideas,
if Andy doesn't come back, 3 guys, 1 pod.
Oh, Andy better come back. I'm gutted he's not here this week. Choosing his paying job over his free hobby, I don't. Especially on a week where he's got so much to talk about. Oh, he's in the comments though. He's here. He's here in spirit.
Good man, Andy. Hello,
Andy, my boy. We miss you already.
I am with that. Good evening.
Good evening. Right then, let's kick off as we always do with a look at our score predictions from last week. Not very good. There was some coupon busters last weekend.
Well, was there?
Oh,
yes, okay, Liam, you got your Everton one right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you all.
Oh, I can't believe I chickened out.
The fucking salt.
No, I deserve that because I even was bigging Everton up. I was like, you watched Dyche do a madness, but I didn't even back it.
No, we were the only one. Liam was the only one who backed his club, and fair play to him. The only other right one was my Man U versus Palace thing. Crippy, what's going on, mate? You only got 3.
I know. Well, Villa, I was right until the last 20 half an hour or so in the game. Then we completely bottled it.
All right, Klopp.
I know.
There's only 2-0. I don't count the third.
Man United, I thought would be. Yeah, they obviously got that goal. And, yeah, not good. Spurs, I knew Man City wouldn't win at Spurs, but
I wish I'd known to win. Yeah, if I'd have looked into that a bit more, like Man City have never won at that stadium yet.
4 games.
Scored, apparently.
No, not even scored.
That thing.
If I'd known that.
Curse.
Oh shit! I haven't even done this week's.
That's right.
I'm gonna have to do them on the fly.
That's what I do every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very little preparation.
I'll be back. 3 weeks.
3 weeks, Andy.
We'll still be here, Bonnie lad. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Right then, there is one story dominating the world of football at the minute, and that is Anthony Gordon's absolutely mint. Who knew? No. Obviously, we're talking about Manchester City.
Whoopsie.
Resident Manchester City writer here. What's going on, Sunshine? Content review.
It's come out of the blue with the club. They weren't warned beforehand that this was going to transpire, really. But obviously, there's been an investigation going back to when Mancini was in charge of basically Man City haven't been disclosing payments made to staff, to players in some respects, transfer fees. They've been finagling the numbers so they don't get in trouble for financial fair play. That's the accusation. And also they've not, because they don't disclose, it also gives them a way, almost like an alibi of saying, well, here's our details now, but I think in the report they've got some pretty solid evidence that Man City have been paying more than they're letting on for certain people. So yeah, they're going to get in trouble for this, but I can see a lot of hyperbolic reaction, people thinking that they're going to get expelled from the league. No, they won't. They're not going to get expelled. They'll get a big points deduction, but it won't even be this season because this investigation has been for years. So Guardiola could be long gone by the time they get punished for this. They're not going to have their title stripped. It's just going to be a big slap, and then they'll write that season off. But it's like, yeah, it's good that there's some repercussions for people that are, not sort of being slightly corrupt and almost cheating to win. But a points deduction isn't really a huge punishment, is it? It's one season you might struggle with, and that's it. You move on from there.
Yeah,
maybe a hefty fine.
Like City, it's only going to knock them to mid-table.
Exactly, and they still have other competitions they can play in.
Yeah.
So I think people are probably realizing now that when Jesus, Sterling were sold and Zinchenko, this is partly why, because they've been really desperate to clean up their balance sheet for a while now, because I think they knew it was coming. They just didn't know when.
Yeah, as much as they maintain their innocence, like this,
it's nonsense.
It wouldn't have come back to bite them again if there was nothing to find. They would have just dropped it and let it go.
And the 2 year, I remember that they had the CAS. They were punished by CAS, weren't they, for by UEFA for financial fair play? But the only reason that they managed to appeal that decision and then not be banned from competition for 2 years was due to the statute of limitation. They basically longed it out long enough where UEFA couldn't prosecute. But the Premier League have got unlimited time. They don't have the same rules as UEFA. So Man City will get punished if found guilty. It just matters when, because this could be a long time.
What it is, Andy says, transfer embargo and a fine.
Yeah.
Surely that embargo should start now and last while this is going on.
If they've got compelling enough evidence, they could say, yeah, it could.
Yeah,
I'm sure they could.
I suppose it would be a bit harsh if it all came out and there was nothing wrong. So you can kind of see.
But they do have pretty clear evidence of that Mancini was paid more than they reported. That he was getting secret payments from the club. I remember that story came out years ago. I think Der Spiegel, the German outlet, they reported on things like that. Pep Guardiola is alleged to have had payments made by the club outside of his wages as well. And obviously he denies it and the club deny it. But where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, it'll be found out. I did like all the reaction that you said, that the hyperbole, just they're going to get kicked out of the league.
They won't. This isn't Juventus. Yeah. This isn't corruption over a long period of time where they're actually fixing results. They are benefiting, obviously, for success, if that's the allegation. But yeah, it's not going to happen.
Andy wants his 3 points back for the league. Yeah, like you said, they've got to make an example out of them. They've got to do something that really puts other clubs off trying to do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But what they do, I mean, I read something today about them being kicked out of the league, and then the EFL might not have them. Of course, they would.
I saw that as well. Exactly.
They would have them in a crack, and they'd be on Sky every week.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Dominate. Yeah.
What a load of shit. But I don't know. Sky are trying to make out that a fine wouldn't be that much of an issue for them.
Fine was pointless. A transfer embargo. Well, I'd say a transfer embargo, like you said, is the best punishment. It just stops them growing, doesn't it? No matter what they generate in income, they can't spend it, and then they're forced to have to develop within, which is the whole point of financial fair play. It's so clubs don't just buy super teams, can flood their bench with top-rated players, and they have to instead develop from within. So I think,
as well as no teams doing that these days.
Yeah. If they were forced, into like a 2-year transfer embargo like Chelsea were or something, it would be a punishment for sure, and a points deduction. Yeah. It would just stop them from doing a lot for those years. It'd be a decent punishment. But you could argue they won titles because of this advantage that they're alleged to have done. So is it really a punishment or not?
Yeah, exactly.
You see both sides.
Thoughts, Liam?
They'll be made an example of, but I mean, the Premier League had the chance to do this a couple of years ago with the Super League, and they shit out. That was the biggest thing they could have done. They had, was it 6 teams to get rid of, or punish, or whatever they wanted to do with them. But as usual, nothing happened. Man United last year in the game against Liverpool, the fans stormed the stadium, got the game called off. Still not been sorted yet. Nothing's been happened to them. Yet we've had 2 fines for Richarlison throwing a pyro and pitch invasion against Crystal Palace. Make your mind up which one's worse.
Yeah. Obviously, the Big 6 one, the Super League thing, was an absolute shambles.
Yeah.
But I think the FA knew there was nothing they could do about it, because if they turned on the Big 6, it just forces their hand.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. It's a case of, so what the FA and Premier League are now saying that the Big 6, who aren't a Big 6, let's be honest, there's United, Liverpool, and Arsenal. That's it. Because without taking them, Chelsea have got 6 league titles. City have got 4. Tottenham, I don't know if have they won the league? Like, I know you take a mick. Like, I don't know if they've won the league.
It's
No,
all
not
about
the
the
Premier
branding,
League,
though, isn't it?
haven't
It's what
But,
they can
like-
generate in overseas. That's why those clubs always have power over the Premier League, because if they go, numbers go down, don't they, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to interest overseas. So all these clubs have had a big push, haven't they, for branching their brand out beyond this country. And
That's where the Premier League need to step up. Like, well, no, it's the Premier League, not a sixth league, and then another 14 other teams. But they missed it then. So, no doubt, I feel like City would get made an example of, which is fair but unfair at the same time. Because how can they get done?
I saw somebody last night saying that if they got kicked out of the league, they would just stick the fingers up to the FA and go and try and do the Super League again.
Yeah.
So that would mean that the FA would be terrified of giving them a punishment. But I think that shit's sailed now.
Well, some clubs still do want to do it. They just recognise that it's the fans hate the idea. That and the problem is, I hated the idea of the Super League just because it obviously kills our Premier League. But when it comes to sticking it up to UEFA, I'm on board with that, because UEFA they've got that overreach, which is wrong in football. They've got way too much power. So I love the idea of sticking up to them, but not the Premier League and losing that. So it's a tricky one.
So I've got one thing you might be able to clarify quickly. So one of my best mates is a season ticket holder at City. He said today that their owner is set to give the UK 10 billion in funding. Is that true?
I haven't been
right.
able to
So
that yet.
There's rumours going around that he's going to give the UK 10 billion in funding. So they're now going to threaten and say, well, we're not giving you the money then instead.
Yeah. It's kind of a bribe, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Too much power, too much money.
It is, yeah. And City as a club will argue they've done a lot for the community, which they have.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They've rebuilt that entire side of Manchester it was a mess. It's
just thing is with obviously I cover City for my job, but I'm aware that when I'm writing about City and the City Football Group and how many clubs are all connected, it feels really murky to me. It feels weird how an owner of a club can own 7, 8, 9 clubs, and then they can all trade with each other, but they're all owned by the same company. So that feels to me like that shouldn't be a law either. That we should stop that from happening, because it's just a way to push money around that you may have acquired without it being income that you can use for transfer funds, kind of thing. You can just say, oh, a player's worth this much, we'll sign them off Girona, who are a club on City Football Group, but then they can just move them on to other clubs in their thing, and it just seems to be really murky. They've definitely found a way to.
That happens at Watford, doesn't it, with Udinese?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
The amount of players that have done that, and Olympiacos with Forest.
Yeah. I really don't like that rule.
But it's, again, until the FA or Premier League or whoever bring in a rule, it's not going to change.
It seems bizarre because they've got, I think, Sao Paulo on there.
Haven't they? Bournemouth have just done it with, is it Lens or one of the French teams? They signed a fella from them.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but instead of, I think we were linked with a player, so it was like, well, actually, you know what? I'll just spend an extra couple hundred, however many mil, buy the club, and then I'll just go, you know what? You're going from there to there.
Yeah.
It's been going on for years, hasn't it? Feeder clubs and things like that. But when you've got a network of 9 of them, that takes the piss.
It really does. Because they're getting Palermo are one of the clubs that City Football Group have got, and obviously Palermo are actually quite a big, one of the bigger teams. So it's, I'm really surprised I've not thought of restrictions for owners that you can only own one club if they're trading with each other. That seems to be like an obvious way of pushing money around without. It just seems so ripe for corruption, doesn't it?
Very, very dodgy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not financial experts, so we don't know what's going to happen.
I'll ask a question then. So, what do you think should happen each? What do you reckon should happen to City?
Points deduction, fine, transfer embargo.
Yeah.
I think that's only. You don't have to go wild. I mean, 10 points, 15 points. I don't know what there's like a scale, isn't there? I mean, how many did Juventus get? They got like 20 odd, didn't they?
Yeah, they got a lot.
Yeah, they don't need to go full Juventus on them. But 15 points maybe, just enough to keep them out of the Champions League slots.
This is over 9 seasons, so it's
true. What, 10 points for every season.
But they'll be able to appeal that. That's the thing. So whatever punishment they give out, you might as well have all of those numbers because City will be able to appeal it down, which is what it is. But I would say the transfer embargo, making that longer, I think is more of a punishment.
Oh,
because
there we
that's
go.
the
Andy
whole
sorted
point.
it.
Close the case. But the whole point is that City are spending not within their means, are they? That's why they're changing the numbers because they're not earning enough. So if you say, fine, we believe you've gained an advantage from this, we're going to stop you signing new players. So then that does hamstring them completely, doesn't it? It kills that growth.
See, my big thing is, I don't agree with financial fair play. I think it's a joke. It was brought in to keep the Premier League happy with the big teams.
Status quo, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So, not being disrespectful, but City were nothing without money. Chelsea were not a big team without money. Do you know what I mean? Neither of those two teams were ever really pushing for Champions League. Chelsea were a mid-table team. They were finishing like Europa League places, as we call it now, like UEFA Cup, but they were never
City were Division 2.
Challenge for the title. Exactly.
Yeah, Chelsea were on par with Villa, weren't they, in Everton? It was Chelsea, Villa, Everton were all in that mids in the early 2000s, wasn't it?
All of a sudden, I mean, it's just coincidentally, we get bought out and all of a sudden financial fair play is a thing. It's just like, sound.
Yeah, cheers.
I see the idea of making sure clubs don't bankrupt themselves by going crazy. I like, because obviously we've seen it with Leeds. Villa nearly did it.
Yeah, but that's where I think the Premier League needs to come out like, right, you show us that you've got all that money to back it up.
Yeah.
That's what we've had to do for the past 2 years. We've not spent any money because any transfer we put in, we have to go through the Premier League and go, this is the money we've got. This is how much we're giving out over however many years or months or whatever it is.
It's just strange, isn't it, that the Premier League clubs have this stipulation, but yet we always see lower league clubs going broke. And we're thinking, well, why aren't EFL paying more attention to that? Because so many rogue owners aren't like with Blackpool. Blackpool had the situation, didn't they? Yeah. I think Bury even nearly folded and whatnot as well.
Well, Bury did fold.
Yeah.
And then you look at Wigan. Their owner was putting bets on against his own team. Ridiculous. Who's doing the background checks on all these all these owners?
Yeah,
it's crackers. Andy's saying here, in all honesty, they should give them a massive fine and filter the money to the bottom of the pyramid and grassroots. But that's what financial fair play was meant to do, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Is like these big clubs, that money has to drip down. So it's all about keeping the pyramid safe. It's bullshit. It's not. It was about keeping the top six clubs.
And it's also weird having FFP if you're not going to cap transfer fees and wages. Because you're still saying, you can still sign a player for 200 mil, so long as you bring in enough that says that's fine. Yeah. So until they're going to start
capping the duration of that contract to do it.
Yeah, and Chelsea is still getting around, aren't they, by having long-term deals?
Yeah,
clubs will not abide by the rules if they don't have to. So until there's more tighter rules on how much they can spend per season and whatnot, and like I say, with wages and everything, clubs will always find ways around it. Like Chelsea have taken little time to do that.
Yeah, more loopholes than Liam. Anyway, we'll move on to something else. Have you seen Nathan Jones going full David Brent?
Fantastic. Absolutely
I've not watched it fully.
I
saw a snippet, but
it's great.
30 seconds of brilliance coming up here.
Yeah.
I don't care if we're going to get struck with a copyright for this. This is class.
I've compromised in terms of certain principles because of one, personnel, but two, the way that people want to play and so on, and I've compromised because fans and so on. Compromised on a few little things, to be honest with you, but no more. Because at the end of the day, I've been very successful, and I've been very successful playing a real fluent style. Luton were a real aggressive, front-footed side. Statistically, there weren't many better than me around Europe in terms for aggression, clean sheets, defending your box, balls in the box, XG, all those things. I've had to compromise certain things, and I'm not doing that again.
I
forgot about Luton in the Champions League.
Throwing out his XG stats. Fucking
hell, man. There were no better managers than me.
You can say that when you're Mourinho, when you won a title. You can say that kind of stuff when you've backed it up. But when you're failing at Southampton, you've got to keep your mouth shut, haven't you?
I think he's just trying to get sacked.
I know. The fans
You
must be
don't come
fuming.
out with shit like that unless you're trying to get sacked. I mean, John Carver said something similar when he was.
He said he's one of the best coaches in the world,
Yeah.
didn't he?
God,
Yeah,
even like
amazing.
Newcastle fans fell about laughing at that.
Yeah,
Just
Tim
seeing
Sherwood
if
as well.
Sat next to him. Throwing fucking Tim's shoe over the roof.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know about it until I was watching the Evermore podcast last night and someone mentioned it. As soon as that podcast had finished, I went and found it. And I thought, that has to come on
Of course.
the pod tomorrow because that is mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, Southampton fans are asking for him to go.
Yeah. The players are
It's
laughing at him in the
well, it's a slap in the face, isn't it? He's basically come out and said, my players are shit. They were much better when I had at Luton.
At Luton, yeah.
Fuck
But
off
also,
back to Luton, then.
why would you admit to not doing your job properly as well, out loud? Because then the owner's going to be like, well, hold on a minute. We've employed you to not do what you just said you're doing. We want you to take charge of this team and sort them out.
Your ideas and the way you played.
Not to cater to the players. That's why we're here where we are, because the players have done the job. Bizarre, that.
Absolute bell end.
But that does bring me around to think. So, our respective clubs, what arrogant managers have we had to deal with that have come out with some quotes where they clearly are above their station, and it's like your results aren't backing up your arrogance here. John Carver obviously was
John Carver
for Newcastle.
Joe Kinnear.
Joe Kinnear was that interview with Talksport was the best thing I've ever heard. I still to this day go back to it.
That is just honestly the biggest mess. That was the. If ever there was a time to look at Newcastle and just think, well, what the fuck was going on there? It was when we hired him.
Yeah, peak meltdown. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, he wasn't even... How long had he been out of the game before he came to Newcastle?
Years. And clearly wasn't following it because he didn't know the players he was talking about. He didn't even know his own credentials he lied about. And then he lasted, a few months, I think, and then he was gone. Embarrassing.
Yeah, just an absolute mess.
I've got the phone to all the biggest managers in the world. I can talk to Mourinho. I can pick up the phone.
I can get on to Sir Alex.
I don't think you can, mate, because I'll see your name come up and it'll press red. No one wants to talk to you, Joe.
Crack on, speak to Sir Alex. I've been out the game for 10 years, you fucking bell.
God almighty.
Everton must have had some good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just seen Andy's message. That one's just done me over, that one.
What's that? We had a manager who sent the players home.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, basketball, though.
Did they... Dave Hockaday must have been a funny one for Leeds because he was at Forest Green, who are sort of local to me. Forest Green were conference, and then Leeds picked him up when they were in the, I think, Championship or League One, perhaps. It was a strange appointment, and even Hockaday knew he was going to get sacked. He just took the job just to put on his CV because it was the biggest promotion he'll ever get in his career. So he was a bizarre choice with weird techniques. I think Felix Magath for Fulham as well was a weird one. Just used to run his players into the ground and then get them injured because he would work them too hard. Just nutcase, yeah.
I think for us, when he spoke, like you get so pissed off watching him, and after the game, Roberto Martinez, he's just speaking like, you know what, we weren't actually that bad. And then you watch matches and it's like, no, we were absolutely terrible.
He was just on mind control.
Yeah. Aidan McGeady said it straight. He was like, he was sick of being on the bench, and he went up to, he was like, right, I'm going to go into the manager office and go like, look, I need to play. I need to do this, or I'm out. So he went into the office like, yes, Aidan, obviously, I trust you. I feel like we're really going to use you this season. I've got a couple of games coming up where I'm going to play you. And he left the office like, you know what? I feel like a new player now. I feel like, I can commit to the cause. Didn't play again.
Fucking hell. I didn't realise things were that bad with Martin.
That says it all.
He didn't want him back.
Yeah.
No.
Andy's already sort of broached the subject. So Team America's buckled. They've lost their leader after sending them all home to watch a basketball documentary on Netflix to sort the fucking selves. Honestly, he was a joke, wasn't he? Let's be honest. I mean, we had that. I don't think I've still got it up, but that image of them stood in a square of 4 in the middle of the pitch, going nowhere, just summed up Jesse Marsch's football. And then taking them on to watch basketball on Netflix, man. Fucking hell. He had to go.
It's the stereotype of an American coach in England, and he did the thing that we thought we'd hope he wouldn't do.
he was just Ted Lasso all around.
Yeah.
Get your cleats on, lads.
Oh, bizarre. Yeah.
I'm just glad that Andy wasn't on this week.
I'm just annoyed that they've done it. Like, that was the only thing I could hope for. Like, just keep them a little bit longer.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, because now they're going to get a boost out there with someone else.
I'm glad that they've done it now and not 2-3 weeks ago, which they probably should have.
Yeah.
Because I reckon Dyche would have been a perfect fit for them as well.
True, and then you wouldn't have beat Arsenal at the weekend.
No, we still would have beaten Arsenal. That was a guarantee. We'll stick with Leeds for now.
The timing is bizarre, though, isn't it? Because they were still losing games in January, and yet they had a transfer window open. And now they're saying to the new manager, well, whoever comes in, you've got to do a job without any recruitment, and you've got 3 months. So it really, again, you want a club to change a manager if they feel it's not going right. But you also have to remember that bringing in players and selling some that aren't cutting the mustard is also really important. And now whoever comes in is just stuck with players, aren't they? You're going to have to try and work a miracle.
Yeah, it is always bizarre doing it straight after a transfer window. Well, Andy said, hey, a nice guy, poor manager. Well, that's like Steve Bruce. But that's the media's entire argument for Newcastle keeping Steve Bruce. It's man.
Not an asshole. Yeah.
It's just weird, like you were saying about the transfer window. It's the same with us. And last year, Benitez sold Dyche, and then the weekend, literally 3 days later, he was sacked. It's like, really?
Yeah.
They've had the entire window leads. They've not won since November, I think it was. So surely they've got to, that board have got to be looking at it like, right, we've got to have a time frame here when we're going to get rid of him. Same with us. We haven't won since October. They've only just got rid of him now.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, obviously I don't know much about Leeds, but it's just poor.
Paul Lambert was our nice guy who wasn't. He did all right to begin with. Tim Sherwood is the arrogant guy, obviously, that thought he was bigger than what he was just because he had that good stint at Tottenham, and he didn't. He reminded me of Gerrard in a way. Like he didn't realise that the Premier League will eat you up and spit you out. You know, just because you did okay in when the circumstances were right at that one club doesn't mean you're going to be a success somewhere else. And that's what he found out quickly with Villa. But yeah, Paul Lambert was. He would openly say he's not the best coach. So he would go to Germany, listen to experts because he played in for Dortmund and won a Champions League there. So he would listen to managers, frequently would talk to Sir Alex, and really humble manager. It's hard to hate him because he's a humble guy and he wouldn't throw his players under the bus, but results were bad. The football wasn't great. And you're thinking, maybe you're not the guy. He would always have a good start at a new club, Paul Lambert, and then things would turn. Because even at Leicester, he did that as well. Norwich. Went to Norwich, had a great start, and was like, oh, Paul Lambert's back. Then the results turn, but yet he's not like a hateable figure because he is a nice guy, and you see that he feels it, he feels the pressure, but ultimately he isn't good enough. You have to just
not good enough,
yeah.
Like it's all well and good being a nice guy. Like I'm sure Steve Bruce is a nice guy. Doesn't mean that he can run a football club.
No, and also you want that self-awareness to maybe just think about resigning if it's going that badly. If you think, well, it's not working for me here, and this club is in danger of something happening that I can't get them out of, so I should probably think about stepping aside so someone else can do it.
That is what used to piss me off so rotten about Steve Bruce. Claims to be a Newcastle supporter, but if he really loved the club like he said he would have stepped aside long before he was pushed. What was that, sorry?
Bill Kinroy's been doing it for 20 years.
Good point, yeah. Yeah, that's a damn good point. It doesn't stop at the manager.
It's a severance, isn't it? That's why. Owners should just say, we'll give you, we'll agree on a mutual termination or something just to get them out of there.
When Bamford comes out and questions the tactics, it's over. Oh, dear. So Andy's got either going to be Carlos Corberan or Andoni. I don't know who the hell that is. Iraola. Isn't that?
I reckon it'll be Corberan. Corberan was assistant to Bielsa. He's at West Brom.
Hasn't
been at West Brom very long.
No, he's only joined us.
He got them to the playoffs, didn't he? Then he went to West Brom. Because we were linked after him, and he was one that I liked as well. But I would have had him in the summer. Like that's the
another one. Yeah. Another one who needs time.
With him, not someone who's going to have to potentially.
If I was Corberan, I'd be gone because West Brom had just moved into the playoffs. So it's not as if they're going to get top two. They're miles off an automatic promotion. and they could easily not win the playoffs if they do make it. So if he's got a chance to go to a Premier League club at Leeds, produce a miracle, you never know. It's good for the CV, isn't it? Even if they fail, just have that Premier League experience.
On TalkSport before, Ange from Celtic, and some
that
was on the radio saying, "We're bigger than Celtic."
Yeah, Paddy wouldn't have that. Paddy wouldn't
That's
have
kind
that.
of why I wanted Paddy on, because I'd seen
Yeah.
Ange's name, but it would have been good if we could have had Paddy on.
But at the same time, while being disrespectful to Celtic, because we were linked to him as well, not strong but I mean, Leeds are bigger than Leicester. Rodgers left Celtic to go to Leicester. That's all I'm saying.
Neil Lennon left to eventually join Bolton. That was a bizarre one. Yeah, went to Bolton. I was like, okay, that's the level, is it?
Whoever comes in, it has to be someone who's prepared to go down and try and get us back on. That's confidence, that, Andy. Jesus Christ.
I think he'll be that call, Brant, because he knows the club already. Like, he knows the owners. He's going to know the director of football. So obviously he would have worked with him in some aspect under Bielsa. So I think that's the best fit.
Plenty of players there as well, isn't there, he's worked with. So. Be interesting one. Be interesting as well to see if Nathan Jones is gone before
the bottom of the table.
His Facebook users back, Liam.
Yeah, I'm going to pretend as Liam.
I'm very skeptical of Facebook.
Me
too. Is Nathan Jones going to be gone before Leeds get a new name in? And therefore, I mean, is Nathan Jones going to keep his job?
I don't think he can. He's put so much pressure on himself saying that now you've got to deliver. You say you're one of the best managers at being on the front foot, then you got to prove it. They've scored 17 goals. I think only 2 clubs have scored less goals than them in the Premier League this season. They're rock bottom of the table. You're saying things that you're not proving with how it's going at Southampton. So
yeah, like Nathan Jones is a dead man walking.
He is, yeah.
I couldn't agree more, to be honest.
You've got to be humble, haven't you? If you're failing like that, you've got to be humble and just say, I'll turn this around, not I'm the best. Because people don't feel sorry for you. The owners aren't going to think, oh, this guy's really trying. They'll think, oh, he's too arrogant to realise he's made a mistake.
But like you said before, why would you come out and say that you haven't been playing your way? I've been doing this to keep the players happy. Not what you were brought in to do.
Keep this club up.
Big name won't won championship football. Well, that's true. But like I say, you're not guaranteed to go down yet. So I don't know. You just got to keep an eye on that.
Leeds has still got clout in Europe. You know, there's a big club.
I think Leeds will be safe. They need to get their manager in soon. And the team they've got is similar to what, in the terms of it should be nowhere near the bottom of the league.
Who goes down there? Who goes down this season? Because obviously, I think Everton are going to stay up, aren't they now? I think most people would say Southampton probably down, Bournemouth probably down.
I hope so.
But then it's like, is it Wolves, West Ham, Leeds, they're all there?
Wolves,
Leicester, I guess, still count if you're going to say Wolves are in that mire as well. If Forest is safe now,
so tight down there. It's like I don't know. I think Southampton are gone.
Yeah.
Whether they manage to keep hold of Jones or not, but I don't know. The other two could be any.
Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth haven't won in a long time as well.
Even as a Geordie, what needs to be safe. North, innit? That must be.
Ash, is it you? Is it you, Ash?
It's not me. I think it's Richie. I'm trying to investigate.
Was Kevin a Geordie as well? Not.
Kevin had been on. Yeah, Kev's a Geordie. We need to come on the YouTube chat. I think. Yeah. Southampton, Notts Forest, Bournemouth. Yeah, Forest though.
I hope Forest.
It is. I don't think
it is Richie.
There we go.
Forest will probably survive.
They're 6 points clear of the drop zone. They need 3 wins, and that'll keep them up. 3 wins would have them on 36 points. No, sorry, 33 points, which would probably be close enough with this table this season. It's not going to be a high total, is it? So
no. Interesting though. But I suppose Andy has got a right to be scared.
Could be an established Premier League club going down. I think if Everton are probably going to, Everton are probably going to pull away, but West Ham are in trouble, obviously.
Richie's very confident.
West Ham are the only team that haven't changed the manager. Are the bottom 5, is it?
And they probably won't. I don't think Moyes is going to get sacked.
No,
I don't see that being a beneficial move at all.
Not unless they do go down. Forest was
But you'd
awful
want-
against us.
Mm.
Different skill on it. The tactical change. That's fucking hell. Oh man, quality.
I wish Andy was on the pod.
I know. We miss you, Andy.
Yeah.
I think I've got one more point to make before we go on to score predictions, and that is, it all went tits up for the top 3 this week.
Yeah.
And is this now the start of a late charge from Man United? Can they steal the league? We'll start with Liam because, well, top of the league, toppled to the mighty Everton and the tactical genius of Sean Dyche.
And I did call it.
He
I
totally
did say
called it.
1-0.
You did?
Oh, no, Richie's put the boot in there.
Ooh, that was uncalled for.
But they always scrape. It's weird how we always scrape that we've been in relegation once in the past 20 years. But
Well, 100% record of just scraping. Yes. So obviously you'll have watched the game on Saturday. And
yes.
did it feel different? Was it like watching a different team?
Yeah, it was. It was just everyone was on the same hymn sheet, whatever you want to call it. They were all, and I watched. I don't know what it's called. It's like tactical masterclass or something. It's about managers where they've gone and done like a massive win somewhere, and they talk through the tactics.
Oh, the coach's voice.
Dyche's
that video.
Coach's voice. That's the one.
Yeah.
It was Dyche's win at Anfield against Liverpool. So I watched, and he said that he wants to have his players in a triangle, and he always wants them together in line with the edge of the box. So whilst I'm watching, I'm like, I can see this line.
Yeah.
That's all I could see.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense. He's like, I want them to press as one. When it's a goal kick, press them all up, especially with Arsenal, because they like to pull it out of the back. And it just worked. I was shocked to see Dyche play, but it worked.
It's an insane amount of work they're doing as well, because when you're watching just a segment of Everton pressing, it's so the way they do it. Players are literally charging out full speed, then back into position, charging out, and it's so it's one by one, and they may have done so many miles or kilometers during the game because they really put it in.
Well, that's the point. That's
the difference.
I'll have to find it afterwards, but from the most covered distance in our games this season, there was Onana, Decore, Gay, McNeil, and Iwobi. All 5 of them against Arsenal have covered the most distance, all season for Everton.
Yeah. That's what he demands of his players. You don't work hard, you don't play in the Dyche.
So Andy's saying Everton would bang up for it and Arsenal were rattled. That again, Sean Dyche had them didn't he do the bleep test with them on his first game?
Bleep test. Yeah.
No messing about with that.
Should have been outside as well by half time. Should have been outside. Yeah. Ball across the box with Calvert-Lewin just missed with his boot.
Ginger Ninja threatened to scouse Mackins and they shot at the end of money for once. Whatever works, though. It completely worked. Liam with the amazing change in surname from last week. Yes, we've been rattled sunshine. A bit of English 4-4-2 magic from Sean. Again, if it works, it works.
Those 2 lines of 4.
Martinelli won the game.
Because even Pep does it. Pep, it didn't work against Tottenham, but even Pep likes the 2 banks of 4 to play with sometimes. It looks. I know it looks so British and old and rigid, but there's some reason why the classics still exist in the modern game.
Well, like Andy was saying,
your role is so well defined, isn't it?
Like Andy was saying there, double up on Saka and Martinelli. When United tried to do that against Martinelli, Saka pulled out the bag.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had them 2 in literally easy.
Yeah.
And Onana had Partey and Ødegaard in both his back pockets. So
you've always got a backup player next to you as well. That's why it works.
I love Onana, honest to God.
Yeah.
My heart's already broken for him because he's going to leave at some stage. But yeah, Coleman was class. Considering how old he is, and he's been passive for the past 3 years now. But he's actually using his brain, his football brain, and his experience to know, right, you know what, I can't bomb forward anymore. I need to sit back and just watch Martinelli.
Well, in that game, that's why it's perfect for someone like him, because he isn't going to be impulsive. And like I say, he's not going to try and do an overlap run that then puts Everton in danger because there's a gaping hole at the back. He'll just keep his position and say, there are younger players in front of me that can do that running for me. And because he's tactically a good defender, defensive first has always been his strength. He knows not to step out of his position. He knows how to defend against a team like Arsenal. And Dyche has obviously said to him exactly what positions he needs to be in when the ball is in certain areas. There's no way he didn't know where he needs to be on the pitch as the game was going on. So it makes perfect sense.
I also want to say Neil Maupay, what a guy.
Never doubted him. Never doubted him.
Absolutely rattled them.
Yeah.
All day today on Twitter and on a break, I was just looking through like Arsenal fan TV and just fan reactions of him winding up. I was wanting to see the one of Ty, because obviously I always remember that one of Brian. Maupay, you were disgusting, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Oh, all I could think of when he was winding up, I was like,
can't stand that little shit. So now, obviously, we've had one game under Dyche. You watched that coach's voice thing. Do you feel a bit better about the appointment now?
It was one game.
Not getting carried away.
No, we've got Liverpool on Monday, so no.
But would you say that he'd be an objectively better appointment when Lampard came in? If you'd gone for Dyche before getting Lampard, would fans have said that's probably a better manager there?
So this last season, so if you think about it, this time last season, we were both in a relegation zone battle, and Dyche got sacked.
Yeah.
Albeit after, I think he beat us, strangely. I'm sure it was. Yeah, because he beat us. He had said to his team at half-time, this Everton team don't know how to win. So I don't know if what he said at half-time for us is like, guys, you still don't know how to win. Come on.
He just pulled out
won 2 games all year.
The same theme talk.
Yeah.
What about Arsenal then? Is that a blip, or are the wheels coming off? Have they been sussed?
I don't know. I mean, they weren't good at all, but every team has a bad game, don't they?
Yeah,
it was going to come eventually, that defeat, wasn't it?
It has to. I mean, everyone's going nuts saying
that
game over. It's fantastic, isn't it? Relegation fight. Dyche bans snoods. Marsch tucks the subs in with blankets on it. Put Netflix on for your sunshine. You have a little nap.
Oh, their iPads.
For the fear of Arsenal, the wheels coming up at Arsenal, do we really think that City and United are good enough to maintain better results than Arsenal in the next,
I don't know.
So? I don't think they will.
City, not so much. I think, especially now, they're going to be a bit more distracted.
Yeah.
But City haven't been on form all season. The fact that they're still second just shows how good their squad is, not how good they're playing.
Yeah.
Because
so he dropped De Bruyne against Tottenham. Didn't even start him.
Yeah.
Dropped Gundogan, and then he brought in Kyle Walker. That was weird because Rico Lewis has been a right back, and he thought Nathan Hackett left back. Again, weird that he's a centre back playing on the left, but he was man of the match against Arsenal. But Pep just loves to make changes. He loves to keep his opponent guessing, and I think fans are in kind of an agreement that he went too far against Tottenham and kind of hamstrung his own team. So
Arsenal still got a game in hand though. So if they do win that, they go back 8 points.
It's ridiculous. I just can't see them being caught. I don't see any of the team bettering their results.
Because, they slipped up, but everyone behind them slipped up as well. So it's like,
and Arsenal will probably beat City. I think so, yeah. I think Arsenal are good enough to beat City at home. I don't necessarily think they'll get hammered at the Etihad. They've still got to play twice, haven't they, those two teams? Yeah. I know United do look good right now, but they're still catching up, aren't they? So they need to go on a mad run of consecutive wins.
And a lot of people are backing them for the title now, though, just because Arsenal got beaten once and City haven't been on song.
Yeah.
But they've got the next 3 games without Casemiro, and he's been the one pulling the strings for them. So that's a big miss.
That's Arsenal's first defeat in such a long time, though, isn't it? It's not as if form has gone down a bit. They hadn't lost in a while before then. Obviously, Newcastle have lost once.
The fans have literally all accepted defeat as well now. It's like, title's gone. You lost a game. Jesus Christ. Like, you've been so bad for the past God knows how many years. You actually have a good season. You lose a game for the first time in
They can go 8 points clear.
17 games. You've finally lost a game.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's so weird because it's like Newcastle fans are going through a similar thing, but at the end of the day, we haven't been beaten in 16 games.
No.
Yes, we're drawing more than we're winning, but we're still picking up points, whereas last season we couldn't even pick up the point.
We don't concede, Ash, either. That's the biggest thing. That's when you know the
Yeah.
team is working well, when other teams can't score past them. That's how you know it's not a fluke.
Yeah,
That's
if
the-
someone
yeah.
had told me we'd be on 40 points at halfway of the season last season, I'd have bit your hand off.
Absolutely.
So it's all about perspective, and yes, if football was as predictable as Arsenal are going to destroy Everton, then we just wouldn't bother playing.
Exactly.
We wouldn't bother counting points or anything. It was just everything's a foregone conclusion, lads. Let's not bother this week. You've got to take the rough with the smooth. And yeah, like I say, Newcastle's form at the minute, not the best, but we're still not losing, and that's huge. As for Man United, like I say, without Casemiro for 3 games, that's going to show what they're actually made of. Because
I just can't trust them ever. Because United fans are almost the most annoying because they still hold on to the glory era, don't they? And they don't realise that they're just not that club anymore. So when they hit a run of form, they don't temper their expectations. They just go all in. Like, yep, title challenges now. We're back. We've got the squad. It's like, guys, calm down. You know, you've got to do this over a season, not over a month or two.
yeah, it is mad. What was I going to say about them?
Do you think that they've got a chance of at least coming second, Ash, personally? United?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe they will finish above us.
Okay.
100%. Whether they finish above City as well, I don't know. But what was this? 2 of those games were against us. There you go. 6 points this week. It's a rough week to be a Leeds fan, that's for sure. Yeah, they were going to appeal Casemiro's red card, weren't they?
I don't know if they'll be successful or not.
I don't care whether they are or not. I want them to appeal because they'll likely get an extension, and that means he misses cup final.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm concerned about, because I think they're going to batter us in the cup final. Like,
it must be annoying for you to see them come into form now. It's
if it had been 6 months ago, I wouldn't have been bothered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you take top 4 now, or winning the Carabao Cup and finishing 5th?
Winning the Carabao Cup and finishing 5th, no problem.
Over the Champions League?
Over the Champions League. We're not ready for the Champions League. I think if we finish in a Champions League spot, it's going to expose us.
Fair point. It'll kill your Premier League season as well, playing 2 games a week. You haven't got the squad for that yet, have you?
I would have to go and buy so many players in the summer, and we'd end up being the ire of everybody, like Chelsea have been. And I mean, I'm not bothered about other people's opinions, but it's too much of an ask to go into the Champions League from where we are now.
It upsets the harmony of the squad as well, doesn't it? Signing half a team's worth of players in one summer.
Exactly. Plus silverware over league position every time. Leeds are going to injure half their team. Please do, mate.
Ash, I'll be honest. If you asked Eddie Howe privately, I bet he'd agree with you. But publicly, you know, he has to say Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, he would want to say, "I won a trophy at Newcastle."
Of course he would. He'd love to be the man who brought the silverware.
Absolutely,
any manager would. Anyway,
they've not won since TVs have been colour, so yeah, kind of has to do it.
They didn't even have TVs, did they? Last time we won. Fucking hell.
But to say we won a trophy and we got into Europe, it's sneakily worded, but he'd be technically right if they did it. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Whatever happens. Whatever happens, though, what a season we've had. Anyway, let's kick off with our predictions. And what is a 2-1 for Man United and Leeds? We'll kick off with the first one. Man United at home to Leeds. Crippy, how have you got this one?
Yeah, going with the form 3-1 Man United.
3-1.
3-1.
He
is going #frisky. I'm going with 2-0.
Get a new hashtag for mine then, Jesus.
You what, mate?
You have to get a new hashtag for mine then.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Literally copying what Andy just put. That's my guess.
4-0.
Bloody hell.
Super frisky.
Yeah.
Super frisky.
Super frisky. 4-0. Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm going 2. I thought that was a kick in the teeth. But, right. 4. What was yours again? Crippy? 3. 3-1.
3-1, yeah.
Oh, Andy, you'll be pleased you've got them scoring.
I never have clean sheets. Yeah, I never back a clean sheet.
That's class. You got Liam's going 2-0 Man U, same as me. And we shall move on to the next one, which is West Ham versus Chelsea. Liam, what have you got?
I don't know if I'm going to go with my head all at once.
All right, we know you want West Ham to get destroyed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
40-0.
West Ham 2-1.
West Ham 2-1.
Yeah, got to play the game this week.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't make my mind up either, to be honest. But I'm going to back Chelsea. I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea.
Well, in that case, I'm going to go. I'll sit on the fence as I like to do. I'll go 1-1. Yeah, 1-1.
I think Andy's gone 1-1 with you. Liam's gone 2-1 to Chelsea.
I'll be honest. I like backing West Ham to win though, because I do think that Chelsea do suck, especially.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. But these players have got to start coming good for them. All the fucking money they spend.
I know.
Arsenal versus Brentford. This one would have been so straightforward last season, but Brentford are up there, and Arsenal are off the back of a defeat.
And Brentford are good travellers.
I've got to back them. 2-0 Arsenal. No, 2-1 Arsenal. Crippy, what you thinking?
I'll copy you, Ash. I'll copy that.
Copy that, Roger.
Yeah.
Liam?
2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal. And we have a 2-1 from Andy. Might hang on a second and see if Liam's joining us on this one. Keep an eye out. Yeah, I think Arsenal have got to bounce back, haven't they?
I think they will, yeah. And it's at
Why
home
is that coming back up? Stupid thing. Turn that off.
They're solid at the Emirates, aren't they? So it's a good. Even though Brentford are good, it's Arsenal be happy that they're.
It's the big one, the derby.
The strangest derby in football. Palace versus Brighton. Conan and Liam, what have we got?
Palace on a stinker as well at the moment, aren't they?
Really bad.
Yeah. They need something, but Brighton just dog's bollocks at the moment, aren't they? So
yeah.
2-2.
Still not going with a Brighton win though.
No.
You know what happens, don't you? On form, it should be a Brighton win, but those away wins don't always happen, do they? Even against a struggling team.
And you've got to add in the whole derby.
Yeah.
Such a weird derby. Corberan signed a new deal, apparently. Leeds manager's going to be Andy Slot.
Is he having a song?
Is this a joke that works in his accent that I'm not getting? Or is there somebody called Arnie Slot?
I don't think there is. Oh, no, there is. The Dutch coach, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's actually right. Yeah, Feyenoord. He's manager of Feyenoord.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
bold head.
3-1.
He's a bold guy as well. Proper bold head. So there you go. A lot of
he
bold.
Looks like a proper egg.
Yeah. He
confirmation.
Does. Like Lex Luthor. We're talking. Honestly, he's got no facial hair at all.
Bloody hell.
That is a smooth head.
Matt Lucas. Andy's gone 3-1 Brighton, and Liam's gone 2-0 Brighton. Crippy, what was yours? Palace Brighton?
I got 1-1. Pathetic.
I'm gonna join you on 1-1.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
I say Brighton should win. Palace form is wank, but they're at home. It's that derby thing that one off.
And eventually they will turn it around, Palace, won't they? So it will be in a game that people probably thought they wouldn't win. So or at least get something from.
Start somewhere. Fulham and Forest.
Flum.
Flum Forest. Again, this is another one that's tricky to call because Forest are
they're in
getting
form.
these results, and Fulham, I can't ever write Fulham off. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-2.
Yeah.
Decided. Crippy.
1-1, I'll say.
Right.
But, yeah.
Liam.
I feel the same as you. I think Forest might do something, but I've got to hope that they don't, because it's just starting to annoy me now. Like we win a game, but everyone else freaking wins, don't we?
Yeah.
2-1 Fulham.
To the Liam.
Actually, you know what? No, 1-0. Keylor Navas was a baller last week.
One of the most underappreciated goalkeepers around.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable, actually, wasn't he?
He's like a top 5 goalkeeper. He's been for years, but yeah, he just doesn't. No one ever rates him as a goalkeeper because he's not called Courtois or Donnarumma. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Andy's gone 1-0 on that one. Yeah, I forgot about Navas. He was like Gandalf, wasn't he? No. Leicester versus Spurs. Liam.
Spurs 3-1.
Good shout. I'm not
If
going to
you
go
ask-
as frisky.
If you ask a Tottenham fan, they wouldn't even back themselves to win this, because this is the game they bottle after beating Thingy before. So yeah, they're a weird team, aren't they, Tottenham?
Very, very, very. But Leicester are cack.
Yeah.
But I'm backing Spurs 2-1 on this. But what about you, Crippy?
I'm gonna go Leicester 2-1.
Leicester 2-1.
Yeah.
Frisky.
Yeah. Spursy.
Liam Blaylock 3-1 Spurs, and 2-1 to Spurs from Andy. Cool. So it's just Crippy feeling frisky.
Embarrassing myself, no doubt.
Well, we thought that about Liam last week, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Hit the nail on the head. Southampton versus Wolves. Crippy, what you got?
El Crapico. Interesting. I don't know. How are they going to respond to Nathan Jones?
I kind of wanted to win.
Yeah, in a way. You just don't want him to be smug about it, do you?
I think get absolutely spanked.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say a draw, though. I want to really go for some. Let's say Wolves. Let's say Southampton are going to bottle it at home because the fans are going to get on his back. So yeah, I'll go Wolves 2-1.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's going to be fiery, isn't it? Liam, what do you think?
Andy's gone with my scoreline. So Wolves are going to go 1-0 up, and then it's going to finish 4-1 to Southampton are going to go 1-0 up, and it's going to finish 4-1 to Wolves.
Bloody hell.
That'd be class. Just for pure spectacle. 1-0 Wolves. Yes, I'm going to go with Liam on that one. 1-0 Wolves.
Wow, no one's going Southampton.
I mean, they can't, can they? After what he said this week, they cannot go and win now. Bournemouth versus Newcastle, the Eddie Howe derby. Tough one. But, yeah, Newcastle should have enough to see this one off. I know form hasn't been great and goal scoring's not exactly a natural thing for them at the minute, but Isak's back. Gordon's going to start over Alan St-Maximin because he was shit at the weekend.
And Bournemouth have one of the worst defence in the league.
Yeah, 2-0 Newcastle, I think. Grippy.
Yeah, I'll copy that 2-0.
Liam's going to go in the other direction.
Callum Wilson's going to get injured. 1-0 Dom Solanke.
Oh, Andy's going frisky. 3-1 Newcastle.
Yeah.
Hope so, to be honest. I don't give a shit about conceding. Now that run of clean sheets is dead.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit as much. Liam, 3-0 Newcastle. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. And again, Leeds versus Man United, the reverse fixture. Let's be honest. It's not going to change much where they play, is it?
No, I think they lose both games.
Yeah, sorry, Andy. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Man United again. Crippy.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 United. Man United. It's gone too it's too soon, isn't it, after you got rid of the manager? They haven't really had enough time to settle.
Oh, God.
Confidence, Andy, confidence.
Andy's loving life as a Leeds fan at the moment. Liam's gone with a 2-1.
When you haven't won since
Your manager
November.
bounced 2-0. Well, stranger things have happened, Andy.
Yeah.
That's what's going on the sheet, by the way. 2-0. Not obviously not.
The problem is they're playing them at Old Trafford first, and they are probably going to lose that game. And then 4 days later, they got to play again. I think it's teed up for them to just lose both.
Liam, what's yours?
So I said 4-0 at Old Trafford, didn't I?
Yeah.
3-1 to Leeds.
Well, you're going with a new manager bounce as well.
Yeah, 5-3 on aggregate. They lost it.
What was yours, Crippy? What?
2-1 Man United. For this one.
Right, Mega Bucks versus Villa. You've got to kick us off here, Crippy. This is the Crippy derby.
Yeah, I think, we're going to lose 2-1. I think maybe even more. I know City do suck lately, but we haven't been playing well for a little while, but still getting results. And then Leicester find us out. So I think 2-1 to Man City. Sadly.
2-1 to City. Andy's got just 2-0.
Yeah.
Liam, what do you think?
Liam. Be nice.
Haaland was nothing against Spurs, was he?
No shot.
He's due a hat trick or something. A triple hat trick, I don't know.
He's gone one game without scoring a hat trick in the league, yeah.
Don't know. Any injuries to Villa or what?
2-0 City from Motherley.
Yeah, it wouldn't make much difference.
4-0.
Bloody hell.
Harsh. I'm going with 2. I think everyone.
All right, don't worry. Our game's in a minute as well.
Yeah, finishing off with the Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Sean Dyche's Everton. Come on, Liam. How's your confidence for this one, buddy?
Problem is Anfield. It's at Anfield, and that's always a problem.
That's the issue.
It's the public piss hole.
Get frisky.
They're so bad as well at the moment. Like, we're bad, but Jesus, they're
terrible.
2-1 for Liverpool. Gakpo and Nunes are going to score.
Just to piss you off because
shit.
It would be the worst possible people to score.
They've lost to Brentford, Brighton, and Wolves. Liverpool have, so they're losing against those teams that have been sort of close to Everton. You never know.
Brighton a bit.
Liam's gone 1-1.
It was Brighton and Brentford are a bit higher up, obviously, but Wolves was the one where I was like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Wolves got destroyed.
Oh yes, we jump up to 15th in the league, and oh wait, no, Wolves 2-0.
Yeah. I actually got a text off Kevin saying, "Oh, Liam must be happy." I said, "Well, you think so, wouldn't you?" But he's fucking not.
Yeah.
I'm going to back Everton for a 1-0, just because I just want it to happen. I'm trying to will it
in the universe. Yeah.
What about you, Crippy?
Well, I'm obviously chicken, so 1-1 I'll go for. That's as frisky as I'm getting. But we're with you, Liam. We're with you, mate. We're with you.
Apparently so. None of you have got us to get beat.
No.
Hell no.
It's not going to be an easy game for Liverpool, is it? It's a simple job when you're the away team, and it's a derby. But I don't think Everton fans are saying we've got to take the game to Liverpool. We've got to dominate. No, they're happy just to nullify and try and get something.
Well, Liverpool fans on Twitter today have been trying to get it's called Flag Day next Monday. They're getting all the flags out, the hymn sheets.
Yeah.
Make sure they got atmosphere apparently.
God almighty.
The tourists.
Liverpool have for a derby.
Yes.
They're having to get their fans riled up for a derby. Fuck you, Liverpool. Oh, fucking hell.
Dyche would love it. He would love it.
Oh, man, I wasn't ready.
Casemiro.
There we go.
I love it.
How much of a miss you think Casemiro will be in the 2 Leeds games? That's actually a good point. I honestly think without Casemiro, Man United's form drops.
Agreed.
He's pulling all the strings.
But luckily, it's against a struggling team.
Love that. Flag shaggers. Absolutely.
He's better than Rodri right now, Casemiro.
but none of them have got anything on Onana.
Banana.
Onana.
Fred
Have
will
you
turn
not,
into
have you
Brian
not seen
Hill.
that clip? Have you
Oh,
not
God.
seen that clip against Party on the weekend?
No.
No.
If I send you this clip now, can you get it on?
No, not. That'll take too long.
Put it in
We're
the chat.
already-
Put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to our own Facebook and we'll watch it. And if it's that good, it'll come on next week's. But we have gone over the hour mark talking shite yet again. So we'll cut it from here. Thanks for watching the last ever Vital Football podcast.
Farewell.
Hang on. Anonymous getting some laughy faces. And it was obscene. Oh, Andy's obviously seen it.
Yes. Absolutely naughty.
I'm looking forward to this
Yeah.
then.
Like I said,
Yeah.
He had Odegaard in one pocket, and Party was coming to take him out the other one, and he just went, "No, see you later, mate. Off to the chippy you go."
Quality. I might have watched that because I did watch quite a bit of the match, so might have seen it. But anyway, as we said, it is the last ever Vital Football podcast, but we're not going anywhere. We're just having a name change. And if anyone has any suggestions for a name change, because we haven't actually come up with one yet, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, it's just going to be a surprise next week. It's already a surprise because we just haven't got a clue.
No
Anyway,
idea.
thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, everyone who did. And hit the subscribe buttons, likey buttons, sharey buttons. And we will see you next week at 8 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel, different bat name. Cheers, lads.
Cheers.